Hi, my name is Vanessa. I just graduated from Middlebury College and I majored in International and Global Studies. For my fifth day, I looked at school lunches in Jefferson County Public Schools, which is the public school district here, and I spoke with Andrea Wright, who's the coordinator for nutrition initiatives. And a little background on JCPS, it's actually a very large school district with over 100,000 students at 144 schools, which is pretty big, partially because Jefferson County includes Louisville and some of the surrounding area. And every day JCPS serves over 60,000 lunches and 30,000 breakfasts in the classroom, which is a change because before students would have to get breakfast before they went to class, and so that led to a lot of kids missing out on it, but now it's in the classroom, so it's made it a lot more accessible for them. But as we all know, school lunches typically are not the most nutritious, and they've definitely been villainized, and rightfully so. But for my presentation, I kind of want to focus on two good things that I think JCPS is doing, particularly because I think cost to them is a huge barrier. They have $1.25 to work with for each lunch, and I know personally I don't think I could do very much with that, but I think they are doing a couple of great things. And actually another part of my fifth day was going to a screening at Whole Foods of a movie called Lunch Hour, which really did show the dark side of school lunches, and it went through both public and private schools in New York, and it just showed how terrible those lunches are. And I guess I haven't been able to see the school lunches here because school's not in session, but in comparison from what I've heard, I think Louisville's doing really good with what it has. So the first thing I want to talk about was local food, and in the past 2.5 years, Louisville has upped its use of local foods from 2 products to 11 products, which I thought was pretty good. Some examples are they use local peppers in their sloppy joes and local zucchini in their marinara sauce. They also served fresh local chicken 1 time last year, and they'll be doing it 3 times this year. And because the district is so large, farmers don't have to provide for all the schools, rather they pool among farmers, and that's kind of what Sarah Frischner does for the Farm to Table initiative. And the central kitchen, which we were able to visit on one of our 5th days, definitely facilitates the use of local foods because rather than having to bring to each school separately, farmers can just bring to that central kitchen. Well, there are critiques of the central kitchen, but that is one positive for local foods. And farmers have definitely expressed concern that they might not get as high of a price when they sell to JCPS rather than farmers markets or elsewhere, but I would guess JCPS would respond to that saying that they're able to farmers are able to sell a much larger quantity to them purely because the district is so big, and they're hoping that that might offset sort of the price differential because they can't pay as much as farmers markets or other smaller buyers, I guess. And though 11 products might not seem like a lot, last year when they did the local chicken for 1 day, the chicken itself accounted for 60 cents of the $1.25 that I was talking about, and with the rest of that, which is 65 cents. They had to account for 4 other components of the meal. So I think that really just illustrates that, using local food is still a burden, and definitely the cost, I think, is the primary constraint. And so the other program I wanted to talk about was the Fresh Fruit and Vegetable program, and I was so impressed by this. So what it is, it's in 35 schools right now, and it's only schools that are it's the schools with the highest levels of free and reduced lunch, and you have to have at least 50% free or reduced lunch. And what it is kids get a fruit or vegetable snack. And it's at elementary schools because they're sort of trying to target early on, kind of shape kids' palates from an earlier age. And so Kentucky gets money federally, and then this is one of the projects that they've chosen to do here in Louisville. So the kids get, typical fruits like pears and apples, but they've also experimented with some really interesting stuff like spaghetti squash and dragon fruit and kumquats. And the image to me of a little kid eating a dragon fruit was just totally wild. Obviously that's not locally grown produce, but I think it's an interesting balance. And they do sometimes use local, like from grasshoppers. And the kids really have grown to love the program, and Andrea, when I spoke with her, said that when schools don't get to have the program again, they complain, the kids are really disappointed, and the kids are always interested to see what's next, and I think that really touches on getting kids used to eating produce, and starting at elementary school is a great way to do that. And so the reason I want to talk about with 2 positive things is because sometimes I feel like at Middlebury we are really into critiquing things and saying how we can improve them, but I think it's important to recognize the positive side, and maybe that's just because I worked with the government, and you know, there's good and bad. Healthy in a hurry corner stores, obviously not a success, but I think, you know, things that are happening at Parkland Community Garden, which we saw the other day, are going really well, and that's government funded. So for me, one lesson I'm taking from the summer is trying to, you know, see the good when it happens, and I think school lunches are a good place to start with that.